Hi, I'm Anthony, and I make a lot of prototypes in Godot. And sometimes, rarely, I release something for other people to use. So the other day, I realized I'd been using Godot for about 4 years, back in the year like 2020. And a lot of my first projects in Godot were 3D. This is because of my background. I did like a lot of Flash stuff. I do a lot of 2D like visualization stuff in my day job. And so yeah, I really want to like make myself do 3D stuff. And at the time, Godot was kind of perceived also, this was before the release of Godot 4, it was perceived as not being very good at 3D, so that kind of thing motivates me a little bit more. So my first projects, they look 3D, but behind the scenes, they're technically 2D, so it's all 2D maths, like 2D vector stuff. And in this game, well, this is not a game, it never got finished, but this was meant to be like a simulation of like people walking around and bumping into each other and dropping their phones, but yeah, never really turned out. The next prototype I worked on, again, it looks 3D, but it was also 2D. And this was like a top-down driving game, like GTA or something. But it made me really get used to like learning how to do vector maths. And I finally understood what the dot product was. You can, with a little bit of trickery, you can make like 3D stuff look really good with just 2D maths. So like this thing here, the wobbliness of the car, like that's done with 2 springs, like very sort of simple maths equations that you would use in 2D, but then you just apply that to like the Z and X axis. And yeah, so for like another year or two, I continued doing 3D stuff, and I got to a point where I could actually like solve problems not just using 2D maths, but like 3D vectors and stuff. So that was really quite powerful. And yeah, these are some of the prototypes I was doing. And then one day, I decided, oh, I want to make a mountain climbing game. So you can have like a character jump around and grab onto ledges and shimmy. And yeah, I looked online for like solutions to this, but none of them really sort of solved the problems that I wanted to solve. I really wanted to be able to like handle like curved edges. And I actually managed to come up with a system that did that, where you could like have the character walk around curved edges. But actually, during this project, I realized like sort of the power of like making your own tools, and I made like a little script that would let me see like where the analog sticks of the controller are pointing, because it's quite important, like when you're in 3D space, trying to work out like, is my analog stick pointing this way or that way, and like what way the character's going. And yeah, I posted this on Reddit, and it got quite a bit of attention, even though it's just like a 150-line script. People really liked it a lot, so that was really cool. Another prototype I worked on, a friend and I had an idea of making a game inspired by a Japanese game called Boku no Natsusumi. Did that pretty well. And in this game, you have like different static cameras, and you switch between the different scenes. And the composition matters a lot. And when I was working in the Godot editor, I found that it was kind of like annoying to have to click on a camera, press preview, and then you click on another camera and you have to toggle the preview button. And so sort of inspired by that original thing I did, making a little tool to visualize controllers, I built a plugin in a few nights, well, in a few hours, I built some like rough prototype, which allowed me sort of to preview these cameras. And it was like really useful, like within, like it was pretty useful straight away. So I thought, yeah, I'll decide to polish this up and release it as an actual plugin. And I did, and that thing became Little Camera Preview. And for like a good 5 days, it was pretty popular. Like people really liked it, and it got quite a lot of attention. And among that attention, people were saying, oh yeah, you should make this part of the main code base, you know? And so I did that. Well, I didn't do it, but I started to do it. And at the same time, I was also going to China. So I like was writing C++ on the plane. I also got COVID in China, and so I was doing C++ when I had COVID. I don't think the C means COVID in C++. But yeah, so, and I managed to make quite a bit of progress with the UI. Like the GD script concepts, they transfer over quite easily from GD script to C++. But I found like sort of implementing it into the editor a bit of a drag, and sort of a lot of life stuff happened at the same time. So I didn't really finish this, and now sort of the rebase scares me a bit, but I should get back to it. This is another prototype I did. So this was actually at the same time I was doing the C++ stuff. I would do the C++ and then reward myself making this prototype. And in this thing, you have all these objects, you can connect them together and build contraptions and wire them up. And it's like the biggest prototype I've built so far. It's like 5,000 lines of GD script. And there's probably a bunch of things that could be released in that. But yeah, I haven't really got around to doing that yet. So it's just another big prototype. So I don't know, it kind of makes me think about the stuff I've been doing over these last 4 years. If you search for Godot in my project folder, I have 50 Godot projects. Maybe 4 of them are somewhat serious. And then one of them I released and was somewhat successful. So yeah, this is not really advice. This is just more about how I work. It seems I need to have a lot of prototypes, spend a lot of time, and they all have big scopes, and then sometimes really small gems come out of those. But yeah, it's a very inefficient way of working, and I would not recommend it to anyone. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm Anthony. You can follow me on X, the website for everything, and also that's my website there. Thank you.